How about some fresh out of the oven gingerbread, bright snowdrop, fresh Iowa pine, and cool peppermint to put you in the holiday cleaning spirit? Made with goodness, not a lot of nonsense. Mrs. Meyer's. See what good can grow. Visit mrsmeyers.com today.
We know you have a lot on your holiday to-do list. And at the UPS Store, we're here to help. With our pack and ship guarantee, your gifts will arrive intact or you'll be reimbursed. Got holiday cards to print? We're also the premier printing store. We've got everything you need for every way you holiday. Visit the upsstore.com/guarantee for full details. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon. The holidays are here, and you know what that means? It's time to get your friends and family the gifts they deserve. Take the stress out of shopping with Amazon's great deals and low prices on a huge range of items from toys to tech and much more. Whoever you're gifting for, Amazon has great prices on everything you need this holiday season. Shop last-minute deals now.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writing of your favorite novels. This winter, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week we'll discuss one book from our Winter Book Club roster. By using our literary background, we'll provide a flash analysis of each book, as well as discuss listener thoughts.
This is part 2 of this week's episode, where we're discussing Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole.
So we're going to go into one of the most liked topics, and I'm fine getting into this a little earlier, and that is Luther.
Luther.
Amy's, I haven't seen you grin for a male character, for a male.
I know. I know. He's the first book boyfriend in a long time that I'm like, yep, he's my book boyfriend.
Damn.
Yeah.
What did you like about him?
Part of me liked the fact, first off, that he does not necessarily like or trust Diem until she saves Lily.
Even after. Yeah.
Even after that, it's like a begrudging, like, I know I shouldn't trust you, but I'm going to go against my better judgment to give you a chance. And I think for both of them, I really liked their dynamic because of the reluctance on both their parts.
Yeah.
I think it's the same way you like to, like, get me to crack laughing.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a tough cookie.
Yeah.
That you just want to crumble. And I enjoyed that process.
Yes.
And I enjoyed him. And I felt like he has these really high morals and he really believes in, you know, his position, his kingdom, how things are, the status quo.
Mm-hmm.
But he's humble enough to take feedback when it is from DM. I don't know. What's not to like?
What I love about him is he's not more, as far as we've seen, we don't see a morally gray shadow daddy.
Right.
Doesn't mean he can't, wield some dark magic shadows, like that. Obviously, that's what his power is. But I'm going to compare him to, what's his name? Alexander or something like that from Witch Collector? Alexis. Yeah. I'm going to compare Luther to Alexis, and people might be like, Jack, why? This doesn't make sense. When we talked about Alexis, we talked about, oh, here's a guy who doesn't fit the norm of what we normally would consider book boyfriend standard, right?
Yeah.
People look for what's the most morally gray, what's the most, I'll burn the world for you, right? And that was a character who was not going to burn the world to, like, for the heroine. He's like, I would love for you to join. We'll leave you.
Yeah.
But he was also a really good guy, right?
Yeah.
And so now I'm coming back to Luther, and Luther seems like a really good guy.
Yeah, he seems like such a good guy.
Yeah, and yet, what is it about him that I'm walking away with more butterflies than I did with Alexis, right? Because I don't know if it's the slow burn of it. I actually bet it's the slow burn of it.
Yeah.
That, we got Alexis and we got like hard, they're in love and now they're boning in the forest despite having not brushed their teeth in weeks. I think about that a lot. Oh, and just the fact that I think the slow burn helps quite a bit. It made me believe the attraction.
Hmm.
I also think what helps is is Moira pointed it out that they can't stop looking at each other, that he touches her whenever he can. We see that protective instinct. However, that protective instinct never goes in front of his protection of the crown and
Hmm.
his uncle.
Yeah, he doesn't compromise what he values
Mhm.
for a woman he might only want to have sex with. Like, we don't know.
Yeah.
On one hand, I'm guessing they're fated mates, but what I
Yeah.
liked is that the attraction existed and the fated mate aspect wasn't really introduced until DM accessed more of her power. And I felt like it was then unleashed.
Yep.
And it then solidified, oh, this isn't just attraction. This is
More.
more than that. And yet he is not willing to compromise for her. And I really liked that. I think I did not realize, I keep hitting things. Hands in the pocket.
You really are. I express up here. Express up here.
Yeah. I didn't realize how tired I was of Morally Gray.
Yeah.
I think that I've always loved Morally Gray, but to me, Henry is more morally gray than
Agreed.
Luther.
Agreed.
And I think Luther is a breath of fresh air.
I agree. Perfectly said. Luther knows what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Luther knows that there is wrong in the world. Now, the luxury that Luther gets that Henry doesn't get is that Luther can make a difference,
Right.
Now, has he been able to make much of a difference now? Well, no, his uncle's been in power, but there's a chance that he'll
Mm-hmm.
be king and, he wants to hear what DM has to say. So there's opportunities. Has he done the best he could in his life to make this world a better place? Probably not.
Right.
But he does have more of a luxury than Henry does.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, there is a code to him, and like the most morally gray thing we get is that he stabs the guard, but in a way that is he's going to heal from it quickly and
Yeah.
it's just going to hurt him,
Mm-hmm.
And sure, maybe that's not great, but I've seen worse in books.
Well, and to me, that's the ruthlessness of,
A leader.
that you're going to, right.
Yeah.
You're going to have to fight for the top position when the time comes,
Mhm.
but you don't have to be senselessly cruel to prove yourself.
I also think in that scenario, here I am justifying a person who stabs another person. But in that scenario, the guards had defied Luther multiple times.
By assaulting a woman.
Exactly. There had been other times where he said, "Hey, let her go," or, "That's enough." Now, here they are doing it again. So, you know what?
I'm fine with the stabbing, quite frankly,
Oh, me
for
too. Yeah.
how much they
Threatened her,
phys-
hurt her.
physically assaulted her, not only in sexual ways, but
Mhm.
unnecessarily abusive ways, constantly
Yeah.
in front of their prince who tells them no.
He could have
Like,
stabbed them sooner.
honestly, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that speaks to his goodness that he's willing to let these people learn. And when they're obviously not learning, he's like, okay, I got to stab you.
And that comes into probably being a good leader, a good, having morals that he's trying to stick to. He doesn't get to go and hurt someone just because they hurt her and burn the world down. He's still their leader. He gave them instructions. He gave them multiple instructions. They didn't listen, and now this is the punishment.
Right. And the punishment does not risk their lives the
Yeah.
same way that the guardians risked the life of a child.
Yeah.
Right. He knows what he's doing to
Mhm.
mete out punishment.
Exactly. Yeah, I think Luther, I really enjoy it. Yeah, I really enjoyed Luther. I also enjoy the respect he has of her choices.
Mm-hmm.
He tells her, "You know what I feel because I feel it too." Or, you're going to keep believing that you don't have magic. You're going to keep believing that you're a human. He tells her, like all these things, and then she just says, like, nope, la 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 la, I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And he tells her, so this is the last time I'm going to see you, and she says yes. He lets it happen.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it, but again, he's got duties, he's got things he's got to take care of.
Yeah. When DM chooses ignorance, when DM chooses the Guardians, when DM chooses all these things, he's like, yo, you don't have to make this choice. But if that's what you're going to do,
Yeah.
I'm going to walk away now.
Yeah. I mean, he gave her so many outs, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, come out of the pillar. I
Mm-hmm.
promise I won't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
He's giving her every opportunity. And I know as a reader, you're thinking, like, just tell him that, you were working for the Guardians and you're sorry and everything. But they've just had only a handful heated encounters.
Right.
He's done nothing to earn her trust.
Right.
He's done nothing to go and make the slums a better place.
Right.
Like, I get that people might be frustrated that DM doesn't give him an opportunity, but he's also, outside of a few hot moments, has never worked to show that he is a person willing to fight for others.
Right.
Others being human.
And willing to change circumstances that benefit him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's important because if DM and Luther decided at the end of the book, you know what, despite this situation, we're going to try and we're just so attracted to each other. We're going to be together. We're going to figure it out. I wouldn't have believed it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even if they had slept with each other, I wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah. Yeah. DM is too independent and headstrong and mistrustful.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much journey left before the two of them can really come together.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and it really goes from heated moments, some hot tension. And I agree with what she was saying in the moment, though, of her being mad at him. She was like, you thought I hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she knows, of course he should expect that. Like, that's the right thing to do. But that doesn't stop the hurt of, hey, I was there. We had a moment. You thought that I was there. Rationally, you can have these two thoughts, right? You can understand the situation rationally. And then you can also say, I'm still hurt. And that's what we got in that moment. And I think when I see these moments in a character, I really get it. Because it's like, that's the reason why she's not stabbing his balls. Like, she has enough wherewithal to be like, okay, I'm mad, but damn it makes sense, but I'm mad at you.
Yeah. Yeah. Which we all go through that too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I really enjoyed Luther. I'm convinced. I mean, at this point, I don't know. We haven't read the other books. I haven't even read the description of the other books, that there's some past life situation happening.
Interesting.
Whenever there's memories and stuff,
you don't think they're premonitions of the future? You think they're memories of the past?
Okay. That's just me.
Yeah. I love it.
I love a good, like, I feel like there's not enough past life stuff. I want to write a past life thing. Big fan of past lives. The idea of, like, like, if you're going to make them faded, make them faded through lives. And
through time and space.
Exactly.
Yeah. Love it. So I don't know why that made me think of the mother, Orly Bellencourt.
Her mom, like her mom.
Yes. Her DM's Bellator. That's what it is. DM's mother, Orly Bellator. Were you shocked by the epilogue that we get Orly's point of view?
No. I mean, I think we never get a moment of, like, she's dead, especially when we realize that the dad probably knows where she is. I think where I'm at mentally is, oh, so you're saying that DM accepting her fate is linked to the king's death. Had she accepted that moment, that, okay, I welcome it, maybe the king would have died sooner. And maybe that's what her mom was hoping for.
I think the mother is the highest up, or was at one point high up with the Guardians. I think she slept with the devil, and that's DM. Is the offspring, sorry. DM's the offspring of that.
Is there a devil in here?
What's the mysterious beast at the bottom? I'm just using the turn of phrase. It could be
so let's go into like what we saw at the very end.
yeah.
She's in a place where she has to count the days.
Yeah, she's in isolation.
She's in isolation and she goes to check in on something, which I did think was going to be Diem's father.
Yeah, same.
But then we don't see it.
Right. It's only when the crown passes that she's like, okay, in 30 days I can go home. But why 30 days? What does that mean? Like you, I didn't expect the mother to be dead. I enjoyed seeing her perspective because she is as calculating as I thought she would be, given what she was willing to do to her own daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that everything is happening the way that she was expecting, minus the fact that the death took 6 months to get there, right?
Right.
Minus that part. Clearly, there's some things in play. I think there was a lot of clues when Henry was talking about the other kingdoms. Like there's one kingdom that women have healing magic and men have death magic. And then I was like, oh, okay, so Diem is going to have both. Because she heals Lily.
Right.
So we can assume she has healing magic, and then you have Luther who has dark magic, which you can guess is probably going to be like killing magic. So I kind of was thinking, I'm like, okay, either her dad, Diem's dad, is either an actual god and she's more descended than any of the descendants, right?
Yeah.
Or she's like, there's this whole other, different kingdom father situation. But I don't think that it's going to be just her being a half deity. What deity? No, not divergent. What are the names again? Descendant. Yeah, I think she's going to be more than just half a descendant.
Yeah, what is the law? It's something progeny law.
Yeah, the progeny law.
Yeah, so I agree. I think she's more than that. I think her father is a kindred or something of that nature, something
higher,
larger than life. I think now we're just going off into Luther. I think Luther is one of the unlawful progenies.
Ooh.
And that's why he's been cut in half, because he was supposed to die. He was supposed to be killed as a child.
I love that. And
that's why he has more of a relationship with his uncle than his father, because he's his father's shame.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm really excited to see the next one. I say this as someone who's like clearly not in a fantasy book or has ever experienced anything remotely stressful like that. But I'm like, I just walk right into the palace, be like, hey bitches, I'm your queen now.
Yeah,
she's probably gonna go run and hide.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
No, she's gonna go run and hide. Luther's gonna come after her, or someone's gonna come after her. This is why I'm not in the fantasy book heroine, because I just be like, go get me Luther. I'm your bitch now, or you're my bitch now. I'm your bedroom bitch now. That's like there's different people. Different people have different motivations and different aspirations.
Yeah.
We'll be right back. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp.
One of my favorite things about the holidays is my family's tradition of eating hot pot. And it's just this really cozy food-based opportunity to gather, eat, and be warm and cozy.
Finding the things that make you happy, especially during December and during the winter months, is so important for your mental health. I know for me, I'm trying to find everything I can to combat seasonal depression. I go to therapy, I take my daily walks, and it's so important that everyone can have access to therapy. And that's where BetterHelp comes in.
One of the things that's so important about good therapy is that you learn positive coping skills and how to set boundaries, which is so important.
What makes BetterHelp so amazing is the fact that it's entirely online, and it's designated to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule, which again is so convenient for this holiday season because I know everyone's traveling, everyone is super busy, and BetterHelp just makes it that much easier.
All you have to do is fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And you can switch therapists anytime for no additional charge.
Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/booktalk, BOOKTOK, and get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/booktalk, BOOKTOK. Amy, you know how I've been traveling left, right, and center for the holidays?
You sure have.
The one thing that's getting me by is the fact that I can come home and I do not have to worry about meal prepping thanks to Factor.
Factor has been such a lifesaver for me with my job. I have been working so many hours, and by the time I get home, I'm exhausted. And Factor has easy, nutritious options that don't require me to do any cooking.
The last thing I want to do when I get off the airplane is have to think about my groceries. Instead, I'm able to choose from 6 different menu options, and it helps me decide what I want to do. Do I want vegetarian? Do I want protein? Do I just want to eat a simple, well-balanced meal?
And Factor is way cheaper than the takeout option.
And it's still so good because someone else made it for you. Because it's never frozen. It's always fresh. I cannot get over the convenience of it and the fact that I'm able to eat something like truffle butter, filet mignon, garlic herb roasted barramundi.
It's so important, especially during this time of year, to use your time more efficiently so that you can take care of yourself during this holiday season. So let Factor do the work for you. Head to factormeals.com/50booktalk to use the code 50BOOKTALK to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping.
That's 50booktalk, 50BOOKTALK at factormeals.com/50booktalk to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping while your subscription is active.
The best thing about gift giving is when you can identify the things someone needs that they would never get themselves and that they're actually excited to receive.
Is this your way of saying that you're going to get me something from Quince, Amy?
I might, if that's what you want.
I absolutely do, because Quince lets you treat your loved ones, and I am your loved one, with everyday luxury goods, but at a very affordable price. I've actually been looking at their wool coats because now I'm traveling for the winter and I realize I don't own coats. And I am shocked with just how reasonably priced these are.
They do that by partnering directly with top factories, and they cut the cost of the middleman, which means we get more affordable pricing.
And not only can you get amazing wool coats from Quince or their Mongolian cashmere sweaters, which only start for $50, but you also have these amazing year-round gifts like their 14 karat gold jewelry, their Italian leather handbags.
All of the things you listed use premium fabrics and finishes so that every piece feels like luxury.
Gift luxury this holiday without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/booktalk.
Is it time to reimagine your future? The right business skills may make a difference in your career. At Capella University, we offer a relevant education that's designed to focus on what you need to know in the business world. We'll teach professional skills to help you pursue your goals, like business management, strategic planning, and effective communication. And you can apply these skills right away. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu.
God, I'm trying to go through everything in our heads. We talked about Henry. Her brother was a hoot and a half. And
her brother was so adorable. I loved it.
Her brother and their relationship was really cute.
Yeah.
I really think that the relationships were so believable. Her and her father, her and her brother, her and Moira. I think that Penn does a really good job of showing me interactions between characters and believing the connections that they have.
Yeah, I completely agree. One random thought, because this is a note that I made. I definitely judged the book by its cover.
Did it remind you of BJ Nova?
SB Nova?
SB Nova?
Like a poor man's version of SB Nova's cover.
Specifically, sorry, go ahead, keep going. You say.
I from a graphic design perspective, and I'm not an expert, obviously, but I'd like to do things, and I'm like, I would have done this way better.
I think that for me, when I first saw it, I thought of Espinova's
Kingdom of
Kingdom of
Exiles.
Exiles. I'm looking up. Kingdom of Exiles, and I actually avoided looking into this book because it bugged me. I thought that it was too similar, and I love Kingdom of Exiles. I love SB Nova,
Mhm.
and I just was, I'm like, well, I'm like, I don't like that they kind of stole the art a little bit. I don't want to say they stole the art, but it's like very similar.
To me, I was just like, this is going to be a shit book because the design is poor.
Yeah. Turns out we're the fools.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan.
Oh, okay. So here is what I'm going to read because I did take a note. It's a quote. Smart and rational or privileges of the lucky, the fortunate few who could close their eyes and ignore injustice and walk away. The people of Mortal City, my people, had never been allowed to be lucky, and I was not built to walk away. This quote really got me because, again, we
Mm,
are still within the week of the elections. I am still angry, fired up. I, want to really help people. I want to bring more awareness to women's rights, LGBTQ. Like, there's a lot of things that I feel post election that spoke to me quite a bit. And for a book that I think people might immediately dismiss as romantasy,
mhm,
because it is romantasy, sure, it has such a larger theme to it of what is right, what is wrong, and
mhm.
what can you do to fight back.
Yeah.
And that is something that, this book was published in 2023, written before that. It's just, I think that this is one of those books that I would recommend anyone, post election to either reread or read for the first time, because for me personally, I think it does a lot to speak to the feelings that I have personally.
Yeah, and what I like about this, to your point, is the fact that the politicalness of it, the fighting for rights aspects, normally not my cup of tea. I feel like, however, the way that Cole tells this story and Diem's story, the politics, the rights are so inherent to us as humans,
Yeah.
like the need, and it's so fundamental to who Diem is and the plot.
Mhm.
You couldn't separate the politics
Yeah.
from the characters. And somehow Cole is able to really beautifully balance both sides, both the characters, the character development, as well as the politics, rebellion, fighting for rights, etc.
Yeah.
And but neither detracts from the other. And I think that's a really, really masterful way to tell a story.
Absolutely, especially for a book where I think the themes are so important. I think that the conversation of, like, what does it take to do what's right? What does it take to fight? Like, what is all of that? Like, what
Mhm.
it does it even look like to fight for freedom? The fact that you have that heavy theme mixed in a book where all of a sudden I'm just like, "Are they gonna kiss?" Is done so well, and
Yeah.
I applaud her for that. It does make me interested of, like, okay, well, how are they gonna fix this world?
Yeah.
What other injustices? Like, 'cause at the very end, Henry talks about all the other injustices going on, about
Yeah.
humans being baked alive in the desert, about them being used as lab rats.
Experiments.
Yeah,
Yeah.
experiments. Like, there's so much that he listed that, and I'm so happy that she saved that in the end because, again,
Mhm.
I personally don't sit here and condemn Henry. I sit here and, like, I don't like the actions that are being done, but at the same time, I 100% understand why that character is doing what he's doing.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think all of this is so relatable to our history as a society in past, present, future. And and I think that's what makes it so much better than, fighting against the King of Hybern or these foreign
Yeah,
queens in
agreed.
Akatar. Because that's just typical fantasy story of fighting a
Yeah.
very defined evil,
Yep.
whereas fighting for basic rights.
It feels real.
Yeah.
It's finding those really grounding moments in a fantasy book, right? It's
Mhm.
the, okay, they're fighting against these, half immortal like these immortal type beings that, I love that they don't call them immortal though. You know what I mean? Like these like
Mhm.
half gods. However, the themes of this book are so grounded in reality, are
Yeah.
so close to the truth of our society that it ends up making this book so much more than just a frustrating female character, which like again,
Mhm.
I would even add to I give Diem more wiggle room
Yeah.
to she's someone who's under ooh, okay, hold on. Another layer of this. This feels like a character or person who's had privilege,
Mhm.
who's had a lot of privilege in their life, and I can relate this to a lot of people in our real world who never had to think about things. Who never
Mhm.
had to think about, and yes, they see hard things, DM goes and she helps, the sick, she goes to the slums and she sees things. So she's not like completely ignorant, but she's never had to face it head on.
Yeah.
Now you have a character who is being forced to recognize her own privilege
Mhm.
and recognize doesn't matter that you quote unquote see things. What matters is the fact that you haven't had to feel those things.
Yeah.
You haven't had to experience it. And that is a very humbling experience that I know a lot of people have to go through. Hopefully they go through, and then come out on the other side saying, "Oh my god, you're right. I never had to." And DM says that. DM says, "Oh, everyone else in the town has been affected by tragedy by the descendants, and yet she has not."
Mhm.
And when you think about her as a character and these stupid choices and the stupid things that she does, she's a young woman who's being forced to reckon with the reality of experiencing things that she's only witnessed, not felt.
Mhm. Very eloquently said.
I tried so hard not to say like, you have no idea, which I know there's probably still a million likes in there. I will say, though, I would like to formally apologize to you, Amy,
Oh, why?
because at one point I called you. at I mean, this was after the scene of, right before the king dies and the, DM is in the room with him and then all the guards come in and she's holding her knife and I called Amy and I was asking her, "Amy, can you please tell me, are they gonna think that she did it? Is Luther?" And you did a good job by not you gave me enough to go through and you said, you said, "There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that," and then I said, "You're a bad friend." Because you didn't tell me more.
But was it worth
Thank you.
it?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Which
Yes,
is
it
what I
was.
said. I said
Yeah,
it would be worth it.
you did say it was worth it, and it was in fact worth it, but I wanna apologize because on the phone, you're like, "You're good, it's gonna be worth it, it's gonna be your words, "It's gonna be a little uncomfy, but it's gonna be worth it," and my response, "You're a bad friend."
You said you wanted spoilers, and I'm like, she never wants spoilers. I don't
It's
trust her.
true. Best friends is about knowing what they I just needed someone to hold my hand thinking, I'm like, "I can't have them lock her away. I can't have this, but I didn't do it" moment.
Yeah, yeah.
It was allowed, so thank you. I appreciate you,
You're
my friend,
welcome.
because that would've sucked because no, I mean, if you had spoiled, I would've survived, but I'm happy the way that you delivered the news to me.
I'm glad I delivered it in the right way.
Yes, yes. I've been enjoying these books for Winter Book
Yeah.
Club. I
I yeah, I was telling someone recently, I was like, "We got a bunch of bangers." Like, compared to summer book club,
I
this
know.
book club is going way better.
I'm worried because I'm thinking like, did we lose our touch? Are we Skype?
No,
Have we
we are not.
okay. Yeah, I'm worried about us. It's like we haven't had any, serious critical notes, but alas.
Were there any other comments from our listeners that we should read?
Let me go through. I yelled, "How stupid are you? What the fuck?" Way to begin. DM is dumb. Felt drawn out. Slow. DM.
I think
Everything
we
was
already
about how
talked.
dumb DM was.
Well, I hope then that we convince some people the dumb was necessary.
Yeah, I think the dumb was necessary. I think that I don't know if I would call her dumb. I think
I
the
wouldn't.
willfully ignorant is the
Yeah.
best part. But this is a character who was raised to be willfully ignorant. And again, I'm going to compare it. I don't know if this offends any listeners, but like, what of it? Sorry. Love you guys. But I think that this is a good comparison of people who live in this political landscape, who choose to be willfully ignorant, say that they see the bad things that are happening on TV, but they never have to experience it. And
Yeah.
you don't have to go physically in to experience these things, but opening your eyes and feeling it versus just seeing it, there's a big difference there. And the reason why I think that I'm personally not angry with DM is the same reason that I'm not angry when I meet people who are like that in real life, is
Mhm.
because I feel like it ends up being not my job, but it ends up being a moment of conversation of saying, okay, but what if we were to take these blinders off? What if we were to go in beyond willful ignorance and
Mhm.
actually have a conversation? And for me, that's like, I think willfully ignorant is the perfect discussion. And I think that that is I don't wanna say a special place for DM, but I have an understanding and a patience that I try to apply with people that I meet in my normal life when I feel like I see that they have those same blinders on.
Yeah. I mean, I personally identify with DM because having grown up, the majority of my formative years in a
Mhm,
different country
mhm.
where, I was very sheltered, didn't understand not only society there, but society here in the States.
Yeah.
I understand both non-consensual willful,
Yeah,
non-consensual ignorance and then continuing to live in willful ignorance because you don't know any better. And
agreed.
and
Yeah,
I identify with that, and what I see in DM is someone trying to be better, someone that's trying to make up for their ignorance
agreed.
and not understanding that they're still very ignorant and making bad choices. Because I've been in that place. I think about all the really inherently racist things that I've done, not because I'm racist, but because I didn't know better.
Yeah, and
Because
I agree. I mean, I'm not saying, like, I agree, I mean, you've done those things, but more of, like, I just agree with everything where, a lot of people are raised in a very I was raised in a very conservative upbringing, not different kind of conservative than yours, but, like, I was also raised in a conservative upbringing, and it is really hard to just kind of one day be like, wait a minute, something doesn't feel right here of
Mhm.
this doesn't feel right. And that combination of willful versus imposed ignorance is
Mhm.
another huge one. And I'm so happy you pointed that out.
Wow. We had a great conversation.
I think we did too. I really hope that people hear this because I don't want anyone to think that there's like that we come from some kind of self moral high ground because when it comes to this book, when it comes to the modern politics of today, I think that the best thing that anyone can do is be open and compassionate to conversations with people who do not look like yourself, who may not have the same orientation, same religious beliefs, and same everything. And having these conversations and asking yourself, how can you be more understanding, compassionate, and live your life that way? And I think that when we talk about books, especially in today's climate, and especially when it comes to like this week, we're on book talk, the conversation of are books political?
Mhm.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Books are political. Like I can't even a book that could be the most smutty smut book in the entire world that doesn't talk on politics at all. The fact that you're even able to read it is
Mhm.
political.
Yeah.
So I just feel passionate about this because this doesn't come from a place of moral high ground. This comes from a place of conversation is just so important.
Mhm.
And that's why these books matter.
Yeah, because they spark conversation and they ask us to look
Yeah.
inward and outward.
And if we get to see hot people fuck, then for the best, you know?
Ugh, makes it worth it.
Exactly. Exactly. Although some of the fan art I'm a little disappointed in because
Hmm.
DM specifically says she looks to another character and she says, "Oh, they're, they have the body type that's like cute and petite and I'm tall and muscular."
Hmm.
None of the fan art has depicted that.
She might be tall and or like she might be for a human, but it does definitely sound like Luther is this giant compared to her.
Yeah, but even then, like I feel like some of they all make her look petite versus strong, you know?
Mm-hmm,
And you
hmm.
don't have to necessarily have thick thighs save lives, but just show me a girl with a bicep.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all I ask. Because I don't have one. Mine's hidden. Mine's in hibernation for winter. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy. We encourage you to rate and subscribe to our show on your preferred podcast listening platform. Next week, we'll be discussing Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber.
We would love to hear your thoughts based on today's conversation. If you would like to submit your take on any of the books we plan to discuss later this winter, please be sure to follow us on Instagram, where we ask for listener submissions.
If you're enjoying the podcast, please visit our website, booktalkforbooktalk.com, to view our latest merch and learn about supporting the show through Patreon or Venmo. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube at the handle Book Talk for Book Talk.
Bye. Yeah, you look great.
Thank you.
Lighting makes a huge difference.
When in doubt, it's not that you're not attractive, you just don't have lighting.
Yeah, your lighting is bad.
Yeah. This week, we're discussing Spark of the Everflame by Penn Cole.
All right, round 2.
Yep.
Welcome to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, a literary podcast where we deep dive into the writing of your favorite novels. This winter, we are hosting a book club while we prepare our 10-part literary analysis of Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass.
This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each... This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week... No. I can't even... I'm not even looking at you either. Okay. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy.
And each week we'll discuss...
Just start and...
Yeah. Yep. It's too early in the episode to get googles.
The best thing about gift giving is when you can identify the things someone needs that they would never get themselves, and that they're actually excited to receive.
Is this your way of saying that you're going to get me something from Quince, Amy?
I might, if that's what you want.
I absolutely do, because Quince lets you treat your loved ones, and I am your loved one, with everyday luxury goods, but at a very affordable price. I've actually been looking at their wool coats because now I'm traveling for the winter and I realize I don't own coats. And I am shocked with just how reasonably priced these are.
They do that by partnering directly with top factories, and they cut the cost of the middleman, which means we get more affordable pricing.
And not only can you get amazing wool coats from Quince or their Mongolian cashmere sweaters, which only start for $50, but you also have these amazing year-round gifts like their 14 karat gold jewelry, their Italian leather handbags.
All of the things you listed use premium fabrics and finishes so that every piece feels like luxury.
Gift luxury this holiday without the luxury price tag. Go to quince.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order.
That's QUINCE.com/booktalk, BOOKTALK, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/booktalk.